Hi, welcome to my channel. Today we are doing Midsommar. What's up? Alright guys, if you enjoy these videos, please make sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment if you've ever seen the movie Midsommar. Okay, so I just finished this movie called Midsommar. It's directed by Ari Aster, the same guy who did that scary movie Hereditary back in like 2018 or 2019. I gotta say, this movie is fucking creepy as hell. And there's also a lot of really gory scenes, so if you're not into that kind of stuff, I wouldn't suggest watching this movie. So, it's very visually stunning, it's a great movie, it's got a really good cast, but it'll keep you on your toes, and it's really suspenseful and also an extremely dark movie. And for an A24 film, you're never really going to know what you're going to get. You don't know what the hell it's going to be with A24 films, but I really do enjoy watching those kinds because they always try to tell a unique story, and you're always flabbergasted whenever you finish an A24 film. You're going to be happy or sad or just like, what the hell did I just watch? That's kind of what it's like to watch an A24 film, and so far I've been impressed with a lot of them. I just finished watching Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Very good movies, very emotional, but that was the last A24 film I watched, and I was highly surprised by it. Very well done. A 10 out of 10 for Everything All at Once. But I was watching a YouTube movie last night, and they were like, the best A24 films, and they brought up Midsommar. So I was like, that sounds pretty interesting. I've heard of Midsommar before, never seen it. So I spent 3 hours watching it. Yes, 3 hours. That's a really long time. So I loved it. It was very good, but also very disturbing. So what is this movie about? Basically, this girl, Dani, is going through a hard time in her life. Her parents were killed by her sister, and her sister committed suicide, killed herself. So she's going through a lot of trauma. And her friends are anthropology students, and one of their Swedish friends is like, hey, there's this event in my hometown Sweden called Midsommar that happens every 90 years. I'd like for you guys to go. So they end up going, and a lot of really weird shit happens. One of the first things to happen in this village is once they get there, they take mushrooms, they trip complete walls, and yeah, probably not the greatest thing to do when you like, the first thing you do is like, oh yeah, let's take mushrooms. Like, the first thing y'all want to do when you get there. Not the greatest decision. And our main character completely trips and ends up in a barn all by herself. The next thing that happens, if you didn't think the drug addiction wasn't that bad, let's try throwing a guy off a mountain at 100 feet and watching his literal face peel off. Yes, his face literally peels off, and they do show it. Very gory. And then if that wasn't good enough, they're going to throw another guy over. He's going to lose his fucking leg. And then his family, or whoever it was, takes a sledgehammer and let's just say... What's the best way to say this? Let's just say his face is no longer together. Let's just say that. So yeah, that happens. And the reason for doing this is they say that this is how you die. We're basically going to throw you off a cliff, murder you. You're no longer going to have a face. And if your face doesn't come off, well, we're going to disconnect it. So, yeah, that's one of their rituals for when you die. Not very good. So then they get traumatized by that. Then there's another event where they're surrounded by this lake. And they're like, okay, we're sacrificing people, basically drowning them and throwing them in a river. So they take, this one girl's like, okay, I'll be the sacrifice. They put a big-ass fucking rock on this girl who's like less than 18 years old, and they're swinging her around, and our main character, played by Florence Pugh, comes up and is like, no, don't do that. So she's terrified. And her boyfriend's a douchebag. He's trying to break up with her. He doesn't like her because she's way too emotional. Their relationship is basically hanging by a string. It's really bad. So Florence Pugh and her boyfriend are arguing, and she's like, hey, I want to go. They've already killed 2 of these guys. I'm traumatized. I'm sure you guys are. And her boyfriend's like, we only get this opportunity once in a lifetime, so I kind of want you to come. A bunch of other shit happens. 2 of their friends die, and Florence's boyfriend is constantly surrounded by this girl who likes her. He ends up eating a pie, and let's just say one of her body hairs is inside the pie, and it's not from her head. So that happens, and they keep telling the guy, he's like, hey, if you mate this girl, you're gonna gain great power and everything. And he's like, no, I really don't want to do it. And then toward the end of the movie, he actually does it, and his girlfriend gets caught cheating on him. And then, if that's not bad enough, there's another competition. So they decide that there's this tradition. Whoever can dance the longest, and they're going to do all these different dances, and there's a group of women. So there's like, whoever wins this dance becomes the May Queen, which basically means you gain high power. The image I'm showing you right now, she has this incredible like flower outfit. It's so fucking cool. And so when she wins, after catching her boyfriend cheating, so after she catches him cheating, they take the boy, and he's running around naked because he just had sex, and he doesn't have any clothes. So he runs down to this barn. They throw like this dust in front of his face, and yeah, they're gonna sacrifice this guy. But why are they gonna sacrifice him? Because the May Queen, who happens to be Florence Pugh, they're like, hey, okay, now that you're the May Queen, I want you to choose somebody to sacrifice, and not just one person, a bunch of people. So while that's going on, they take a fucking bear, gut the bear, and put the bear suit on Florence's boyfriend, and they burn him alive. And not just him. Okay, so there's just people. They're going in the barn. They're setting people up. They don't even have any fucking legs. Then they take... so everybody else is like dead. They've been setting up dead bodies throughout the barn, and there's a bunch of hay. So then after that, they decide to fucking burn everybody alive. And, yeah. Her boyfriend dies. There's 2 people who get burned alive. So yeah. I gotta tell you, man, like, of all the stuff I just said, this is a very dramatic movie. Like, I've seen Insidious and Conjuring and everything, but there is some shit that goes down in Midsummer. Like, I cannot stress it enough. This is a fucking gory movie, and it's very fucking dark. But if you want to go ahead and watch Midsommar, I don't have anything against it. I say go ahead and watch it. You're going to spend about 3 hours watching it if you have that kind of attention span. I barely did. It took me almost 4 hours to watch it because of my ADHD ass. But, yeah, very good movie. I got to give it like a 9 out of 10. It's visually stunning. There's a lot of really cool colors in the movie. But basically, the message that I got from this movie is sometimes it's not a good idea to do the wrong thing. There's even one scene, it's so funny. So you guys remember Will Poulter from like the Maze Runner series? Okay, so he decides that he's gonna go, use the bathroom. And so he ends up, let's just say, using the bathroom on a sacred tree. And this guy is like, what the fuck are you doing? You just pissed all over my family. And this guy's like, he's like highly fucking pissed. And we're like, okay, we know you didn't know, but that's a sacred tree. But he's like, no, it's a dead fucking tree. Like, I was just going to use the bathroom. And so that happens. Another creepy thing that happens is one of their friends decides to do a thesis. Okay, so they were all going to do a thesis. Well, not all of them, but this one guy was like, okay, I'm going to do a thesis. And it's my own original idea. I don't want nobody else on it. And then Florence's boyfriend, he's like, hey, I want to do the thesis too, because I think all of this stuff I'm seeing is awesome. So they're kind of in a competition. It's one of their friends and Florence's boyfriend. So they come up to this guy named Pelé, who's the one who's in charge of everything, and he's the guy who brought them along on this trip. He's like, okay, let me talk to the elders, and I'll see if you can do his thesis. But don't write down anybody's name. So, Florence's boyfriend decides, like, okay, I'm going to go start the thesis. And then, of course, the whole sex ritual and shit that he does, and then he gets killed and all that. But their other friend, so he met with one of the priest guys, and they had this sacred text, and he's like, hey, can I take a picture of it? He's like, no, you can't take any pictures. Absolutely not. I don't want you taking pictures. So against their better wishes, the guy goes in there, starts taking pictures of the book, and Will Poulter, yeah. So Will Poulter takes a fucking hammer and smashes the fuck out of his friend, and there's blood on the ground. And then they cut off his foot, stick it in the ground, and let's just say he became a foot plant. So out of everybody that went there, I never really figured out what happened to Pelé in the movie. But I do know Florence is the only one that survives this movie. So, spoiler alert, if you do want to know how this movie ends, it's basically a cult burning, and everybody is just flailing their arms and acting fucking crazy, and, Florence has another one of her panic attacks. So, with all that being said, I know it's a lot, and I kind of jumbled around everything, but this movie is just so dark. Like, it's a really good movie, but the aspect of it is like, it's like watching a freaking cult movie. It's very dark, it's very cynical, and, basically gotta tell you, I'm probably not gonna go to Sweden anytime soon. But, yeah, I would give it about 9 out of 10. That's all the time I have for today. If you guys like the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I love making these videos. Helps me out a lot. Thank you guys for watching.